Yeah, it's top of the top, man. My last joint, y'all tried to jam up, right? Because the sauce was too spicy. But I'm bringing it right back, man. Bringing it right back. And like I said, like I stated in that podcast or the broadcast, this is just the preview for the podcast. At five, I want to really give y'all that sauce, man. Can the PBC actually afford to keep Canelo Alvarez? You know, he's getting a hefty ransom. He's getting $40 million, right? Now, I was breaking this down in my past broadcast that they tried to jam up the frequency because it was too spicy. I was schooling y'all. So I'm gonna get right back to it. And 5 o'clock, I'm gonna have the receipts. I'm gonna, no, I'll be in the Source cave. But this has been brought to the Source news desk. Canelo Alvarez is making $40 million, right? Now, if you was listening to the past broadcast I just did before the frequency got jammed up, right? I was theoretically speaking, but some of it I wasn't. Now, Javante Davis's last fight, right? They said he made $5 million, $2 million purse, and $3 million on the back end. It would take him 8 fights, right? Just say he got the 5 million. We're gonna say he made the 5 million. It would actually take him 8 fights to make what Canelo Alvarez is making versus Caleb Plant in one night. Now he's saying, "Damn, you pocket watching, so." Nah, I'm basically what I'm doing is I'm breaking down the numbers to you. I'm breaking down the numbers to you. If Canelo Alvarez is being paid $40 million, right? Javante Davis paid $5 million, right? Say Javante. Now we're gonna start talking theoretically again, right? Now say Javante Davis fights 3 times a year at $5 million a pop, right? $5 million a pop, 3 times a year. That's $15 million, right? $15 million that he made for the year. Canelo Alvarez just made 40 million. Well, he's gonna make 40 million in one night, right? 40 million in one night, right? Against Caleb Plant. Now I just said Javante theoretically. Let's say he fought 3 times at 5 million. That's 15, right? Now let's add the Charlo brothers. Let's say both of the Charlo brothers fought 3 times, right? Theoretically speaking, they both made 3 million, but we know they ain't making 3 million, but they made 3 million apiece, right? They made 3 million apiece. They both fought twice, because that's what they normally fighting twice a year over there. So both of them fought twice. That's 6 and 6. That's 12 million, right? Add Javante Davis is 15 million. That's $27 million. $27 million. Theoretically speaking. We're gonna break this down more in depth tonight on the podcast. But that's $27 million right there. That's Tank Davis 3 fights at 5 apiece. That's 2 fights with the twins at making them theoretically making 3 million apiece, right? That's 7 fights. 7 fights, 27 million. 27 million, 7 fights, right? Let's put Earl Spence in there now. Theoretically, let's say Earl Spence makes Earl's the big dog over there, right? He's the big dog. He fought one time last year, Danny Garcia. So we're just saying he made 12 million because that's what he was supposed to make against Manny Pacquiao. So you put his 12 on top of that 27 I just said. That's 39. They are still $1 million short. And that's 8 fights. I just gave y'all 8 theoretical fights from the superstars over there at the PBC. 8 fights. Theoretically. Hypothetically. Whatever you want to say. 8. That was 8 fights. And the total came up to be $39 million. Canelo Alvarez, one fight against Caleb Plant, is making $40 million. I say that to say this. Can they actually afford to pay Canelo Alvarez continuously? I just gave y'all 8 fights from their superstars, making hefty paydays. Hefty paydays. And it still didn't add up to what Canelo Alvarez is receiving for one night. Are y'all catching this sauce, man? Are y'all catching this sauce, man? Well, like I said, at 5 o'clock tonight, I'm really going to dive in. When I get to the Source Cave, you know how I do with the split screen, I can show y'all some stuff. But can they afford to pay Canelo Alvarez, man? You're rocking out yours truly, the Source, man. See, I had to bring it back on again. Because when I was dropping this before, they tried to jam up my frequency. But I knew they was going to do that because the sauce was too spicy. But yes, did y'all just catch that? What I just said to y'all, man? I gave y'all an 8-fight scenario, right? Hypothetically, an 8-fight scenario with the so-called stars, they're big-time stars over there that get the buku dollar, right? That get the buku dollars be making. You know what I'm saying? I said Tank Davis, which he doesn't. But I gave Tank Davis 3 fights off of what he earned his last fight because it's alleged that he made $5 million. So he makes $5 million, right? That would take him 8 fights to garner what Canelo Alvarez is making in one fight versus Caleb Plant. 8 times 5 is 40. So it would take him 8 fights. Now, if he was making $8 million, it would take him 5 fights to garner what Canelo's making in one fight. Now, I said I gave Earl Spence $12 million because that's what he alleged was supposed to make against Manny Pacquiao. So they say. In 3 fights, if he was making 12, like he made against Manny, that he was supposed to, 3 fights, he would still be $4 million short of what Canelo is making in one fight. Now, I said the Charlos, $3 million. But I don't even think they made $3 million in the fight. But I gave them $3 million. It'll take them 10 fights. They will still be 10 fights at $3 million a fight. They will still be $10 million short of what Canelo is making in one night. Now, I say that to say this. Can the PBC actually afford to keep Canelo around? Because I just wrote off some numbers what their so-called stars theoretically are being paid and how many fights it would take for them to make what Canelo was making in one night. 5 o'clock. We're going to have a lot more fun with this, man. Hopefully y'all caught that sauce. You're rocking out with yours truly, Showtime Sizzle. You know the vibes.
It only takes for you to win once. You could lose 10 years in a row and you hit that right jug. Bam! That shit changed the goddamn game. And guess what? They gonna bow down. So I don't care how rough it's been on you. All you gotta do is hit once. Pull off that one thing in the back of your mind. You pull that off and guess what?